Are your customers going to stop spending in 2024? Today, we're going to take a look at this a little more from the legal perspective than the economic perspective. I think we all have to acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is there is the real chance that people are going to slow down on their spending in 2024 because of these economic forces. For one thing, the amount of cash in the system, that money supply is being contracted. Also, consumer debt is going up, and the lending, there's going to be a boom of refinancing coming. And that refinancing, particularly on the commercial side, is going to force a lot of people to move into higher interest rates. So, from a business to business perspective, maybe those businesses you're working with and dealing with are going to get caught up in this contraction. So, there's a real possibility that they're going to be reduced spending in 2024. I don't want to get into all the macroeconomic fundamentals that are happening there because that is not what we're going to cover here today. We're going to be talking about the legal implications of this to your business, which is if this type of spending issues pop up, it's going to cause potentially a host of issues for that typical business these days, right? You are potentially going to have to deal with customer collections, your credit exposure, and the downstream effects potentially of lower cash flow. So now is the time to start thinking about that and doing some projections. What is your exposure? Do you have unnecessary customer concentration? And when I say unnecessary customer concentration, do you have some people that owe you a lot of money? And what happens if their business goes sideways or fails? What if they get caught up in this cycle? What is your plan? And you need to be gaming that right now. What are the trigger points? What is the maximum amount of debt? What do you and your leadership team think you should do if perhaps somebody who's already a little behind on their bills to your company gets even more behind? And what does your collection and receivables monitoring process look like? Now might be a great time to update your procedures and processes around collecting those receivables. And then you need to think about what goes beyond that. If you do keep calling that customer, asking for payments, at what point do you cut them off and say, okay, you are no longer our customer or your account's on hold until you pay? And then you also might want to be talking to your legal team about your collection efforts and next steps beyond that if that happens. Now is really the time to be circling the wagons on that because I think there's enough macroeconomic data, which we alluded to at the beginning of this video, for us to be thinking about the what ifs. So we need to be planning for those scenarios and thinking about it from a legal downstream process. Now, obviously, this could then in turn in your business, if it's not managed correctly, it could cause a trickle-down effect, meaning that if your customers slow down or pay you, if the receivables go up, if you have to cut off a customer who's got a growing balance and getting to the point where the credit exposure is too much, it might in turn lower your sales and lower your revenues, and that in turn may cause your business to weaken and to potentially make tough decisions. What is your plan in that case? If this contagion, as the economists would call it, catches on, what are you going to do in your business to make sure that you are keeping healthy, right? How are you protecting your business? So now is a great time to be looking at what happens, doing some gaming, doing some what ifs, and really building those scenarios, because a lot of people feel like that handwriting's on the wall, that we are going to have a potential downturn and issues. So quick video today, but hopefully that gives you another thought, another idea. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to our channel. Join us in the comments. Of course, this is a legal channel. Anything you post will be seen by the public. So don't put anything confidential. Keep your comments very general and vague. But if you have ideas for future videos, things you'd like us to cover, do let me know. I'll be back with more videos soon. We have a whole library of videos to go check out on the YouTube channel, and let me know how I can help you in the future, particularly things you would like us to talk about here on the channel. All right, I'll catch you for another video soon. Thanks for tuning in, folks.